Jose, so you played in New York once before, shared the same city as Derek Jeter. How much credit do you give him for playing in a city like this at the highest level?
Wow, a lot of credit. He been playing here for 20 years and doing it good. I mean, he's the guy like I look up to Jeter. When I play here in New York, that's something that I admire a lot. Watching him play, just the way that he played the game. He always play hard and with the same attitude every single day. That's something that I like as a ball player.
What have you learned from him most?
I mean, the way he played the game. He always gonna play hard. He always gonna hustle. Still he 40 years old and he still hustle. You see him hit a ground ball to shortstop, second base. He gonna run hard to first base. That's a sample for a young player like me and some other guy coming up too.
Bryce, talk a little bit about Derek Jeter. He's been in the game for 20 years. That's almost your entire life. So I mean, what's that like? Just knowing that.
At the beginning of the season, I did an interview and said, he's not just the captain of the Yankees, he's the captain of baseball. And, being able to grow up watching him play in a Yankee uniform was something I enjoyed a lot. And, he's a true professional, and he's done things his whole career that have made him, one of the best shortstops, if not the best shortstop to ever play the game. And, it's just a lot of fun to watch. And, it's going to be sad to see him go, but, he's left behind such a great legacy. So.
Is there anything specific from his game that you try to take to apply to yours?
Just him being such a professional. He goes about his business every single day the right way, and he's such a great person and such an inspiration to a lot of players on the field. And you just try to go out there and try to play hard and try to do things the right way, and do those kind of things like he does every single night.
Now next year, even though you won't be the team, you guys are traveling to Yankee Stadium. How excited are you to be playing at Yankee Stadium?
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. Definitely being able to go in there and play in front of such great fans, and just a great classy organization that has been around for ages, and it's going to be a lot of fun to go in there and really enjoy that, and play alongside a lot of people that have played there. So,
Derek Jeter, how would you define him?
It's hard, I think he represents baseball, I mean, any player that you're gonna ask is fan of Jeter, even if you play against him, everything he does is special, I mean, I was speechless when I saw that commercial, the Gatorade commercial. It was something special. So, I mean, everything he does is special, and I cannot be more happy, more proud to be part of last week as the last game as a Yankees in the home. So.
Now for you played for the Texas Rangers for a little bit, but this season you've been with Baltimore Orioles. How awesome has it been for you to be able to play against Jeter during his final season, the amount of times that you have?
Oh, like I said, it's special. I mean, even the short time that they go there in Texas, when I come here, it's nice to see him play, to be consistent for that long, it's gotta be amazing. I mean, it's amazing to see what he be able to accomplish in that in 20 years, So, like I said, I'm happy, I'm gonna be excited to see his last game and the way the fans receive it everywhere he goes.
Zach, Derek Jeter, what's it been like pitching against him all these years?
It's been amazing. I grew up watching him play. Don't mean to make him feel old or anything, but like that. But he's a guy, when you think of the New York Yankees, you think Derek Jeter. And so, we're happy to see him go, obviously being an opponent, but he's been great for the game. He's a great guy. Everyone speaks highly of him. But to not see him manning shortstop next year is going to be interesting. Like I said, I think a lot of people, when they think baseball, you think Derek Jeter. So we're happy that he's had a great career and looking forward to his retirement. And we wish him well in his retirement.
And for you being in the AL East, what's that been like? I mean, just being able to play against him and have the opportunity to play against somebody who's going to go down as one of the best in baseball.
It's been a privilege. I mean, anytime you've had the opportunity to face a Hall of Famer, that caliber of a player on the field, and then a caliber of person he is off the field, it's been awesome. The interactions we've had. I mean, I've never played with him, but he's always been. When I first came up as a young guy in 2011, he was maybe one of the first guys that said something to me about congratulations or hey, you got good stuff and stuff like that. And I mean, that just sticks with you when you're a young player and a guy of his caliber comes up to you because you're kind of nervous. You don't want to approach him, but he's been a great guy.
Marcus, this is your first year in the Bigs, 2014. You've gotten to go to Fenway Park. You've gotten to go to Yankee Stadium. You're pretty much living a dream, and now you get to be one of the last pitchers to face Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
It's awesome, man. it's pretty crazy, you know what I mean, growing up watching him play. He's kind of the poster child for the MLB, you know what I mean? Since he's been in the league, he's done everything the right way. He's gone about his business the right way, and he's been unbelievable on and off the field. So just to play against someone like that and to kind of be a part of his going away tour has been pretty special, and being able to pitch against him in his final home stand will be pretty great. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you're a Long Island guy, so how much did you enjoy watching him play when you were growing up?
A ton, you know what I mean? That was who everyone was dreaming to be, was to be Derek Jeter. You know what I mean? He came up here at a young age and he stuck right away, and he, however many titles and MVPs and batting titles, he's done it all, you know what I mean? And the best thing about him is he's a great guy, he's the captain, you know what I mean? He goes about his business in just about as professional a way as you possibly can, and he's a role model kind of for anyone to look up to, not only athletes.
And it's an honor for me, you know, to grow up. I mean, I think everybody in some way or another idolized Derek Jeter for who he is and the way he plays the game. And you know, in 2012, I got to go to the All-Star game, and he was on the other team, and I got to take a picture with him, and so that was you know, that was pretty cool. You know, he's legitimately one of the only people that I still kind of get a little bit like starstruck by, you know. And there was a book. I forget the name of the book. The Life You Imagine is what it was called. It was about Jeter and his family and his growing up. And my mom gave it to me when I was little. And so ever since I was a junior in high school, not little, but junior in high school, I kind of, you know, wanted to, you know, be like him. And not quite there yet, but you know, in the same world, I guess now.
Yeah, it was cool. You know, it was a pretty special moment there at the beginning of the game. And, you know, I think he was almost everybody's favorite player growing up. And just watching him, the way that he went about his business, you know, he's done everything right.
Now, being from Pennsylvania, did you get much of a chance to watch him when you were younger?
Just on the national games, you know, Wednesday night baseball, Sunday night baseball, the Yankees were on plenty. So I was able to watch him as much as I could, and, you know, it was a lot of fun.
I don't know. I mean, it's been impressive. You know, just what he's done in the game, how he steps up in big moments, and, you know, the postseason memories that he's created. I think, you know, as a kid growing up watching him play in the postseason, and then being able to see him play in the postseason, actually being able to beat him in the postseason. You know, every time he comes to the plate, whether it is the postseason or the regular season, you feel like something good is going to happen, and you know, his career's been incredible.
Is there anything from his game, either on or off the field, that you try to apply to yourself?
You know, we're different type players, but I think just his intensity. You know, maybe not intensity is the right word, but just focus. You know, he seems to be always focused on every pitch, and you know, every moment in the game, he's focused and ready, and I think any player can really draw from that.
I think it's one of my best experiences, you know, because he's gonna be his last All-Star game, so I see him play. They're gonna play today against him, so for me it's an honor to play against a guy that his caliber.
Being from Venezuela, how much of an inspiration was Derek Jeter to you when you were a younger kid?
Oh, you know, a lot, because I used to play shortstop too. For me, he's one of the best players in the game, long time. So, you know, he have a nice career, you know, and you know, I wanted to have a career at least 80% of the success that he has.
It's fantastic. You know, he's a great guy. You know, from the way he goes out and carries himself, the way he plays the game. You know, there's a lot you can learn from somebody like him.
All right, is there anything in his game that you want to try to take and apply to yours?
Consistency, definitely. That's huge in baseball.
Yeah, you know, I faced him a couple years ago when they came to Cleveland, and you know, it's kind of one of those things where because it is Derek Jeter, you know, it's kind of one of those at-bats, or a couple of bats where you probably remember it a little bit more so than others just because of who he is.
It's unbelievable. Watching him kind of growing up as a kid and studying him, seeing how well he carried himself, how positive he was, how people embraced him. Somebody you always wanted to be, somebody you wanted to meet, and to play against him for the last couple of years and just watch his career unfold, it's awesome.
Is there anything from his game that you try to take and apply to yours, whether on or off the field?
Everything. The way he carries himself, to how good of a person he is and respects everybody in the game. he's always just so humble and so easy to talk to. He has all the power in the world. He's a superstar, but at the same time, you know, he takes his time out just to talk to you, shake your hand, and make sure you're doing all right. It's awesome.
It's been fun. I mean, he's one of the best, and I mean, he can get you at any point. He can do so many different things with a bat. But I always love facing the best. There's always something about when you go up against the best that you want to get those guys out, and that's why I always enjoy facing him.
Will that be a face that you miss pitching against?
In a way, yeah. It'd be nice for him to be at home in Tampa, retired, while he watches the Yankees.
Aaron, you're here at Yankee Stadium. Yeah. What's your thought about this park, and how awesome is it to be playing against Derek Jeter?
I mean, it's unbelievable. This is one of those guys I looked up to, you know, growing up, being the idol of mine, and now being on the same field as him and getting to face him, it's pretty unbelievable for me.
It's been awesome. I was a Mets fan growing up, but I always said I hated Derek Jeter, but I really secretly loved him. I respect everything that he does on and off the field, and to have the opportunity to play against him for the past 6 seasons and just watch his whole career, growing up in New Jersey, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to face him on Thursday.
Now, having been from New Jersey, is it kind of surreal actually facing him and playing here at Yankee Stadium against him?
Yeah, the first time I faced him was in spring training, and that was crazy for me. Just, I couldn't believe he was in the box, and I'm glad that I faced him in spring training and got that out of the way, because I didn't want to be in awe, on the mound in an actual game. But it's going to be special for me on Thursday. This is his last season, and in Yankee Stadium, get him face him one last time. It'll be fun. I'm definitely going to take it all in.
It's been an honor. I mean, there's a lot of people who knows that Derek is one of my idol, right next to Omar Vizquel, and to be able to play, against him, that really make me feel really good, and blessed to actually happen, and actually have a relationship with him, talking to him, and since the first time you met him, you can see how humble and how great person he is.
So what sort of relationship do you have with him on and off the field, if you don't mind?
Well, we don't really talk too much, but I I always talk when I have a chance, and I've been in the 2 All-Star games, and I get to actually be in the same clubhouse, and and trying to reach and get to know a little bit of that brain. But it's just all around, he's a great human being, and for sure an amazing player.
I'm sure like a lot of people in the game and around the game, Derek Jeter has always been my favorite player growing up, and to have the honor and privilege to play against him on the same field was pretty special.
What part of his game are you trying to apply to yours, whether it's on or off the field?
The selflessness, the will to win, and wanting to be a team player and do whatever your team needs that night to affect the ball game. And on and off the field, a great teammate, great person, and someone who really went about life in a winning way and a winning attitude.
Yeah, growing up is always someone you looked up to, captain of the Yankees, and he's got you respected. He always made great plays. I mean, you can think back when I was growing up, the catch he made in the stands, and the play against Oakland where he saved the game, and the walk-off homer in the World Series. Just moments like that really make you remember a guy like him, and him playing as long as he has and being a Yankee. It's a special thing.
Jonathan, you're here at Yankee Stadium, Derek Jeter's final homestand here. What's that like, just in general, for you?
Oh, it means a lot. Some guy that I watch when I grown up play. He is my idol. And I watch him play a lot on TV because I'm from Curacao, I didn't have a chance to watch it in the stadium when I was a kid, but I was watching on the TV, and to be on his finest game, is really good for me, watch him play his final game in Yankee Stadium, and it's going to be exciting for him, I think, we're going to play against him, we want to win, but I want him to go, do something special before he leaves too, I don't know.
And you said that you watch him a lot on the computer because you're from the Netherlands, so how much of an influence did he have on your baseball career? Because baseball isn't very highly influenced out there.
Yeah, he have a lot of it because, the way he played the game, he respect the game and he played the game hard, and you don't take nothing for granted, every day he come and play hard, even he can be 0-for-4, but you're not going to see it because he's going to give 100% every time.
So Jeff, growing up on the West Coast, Derek Jeter, how much did you get a chance to actually watch him play?
Growing up, I watched Jeter a lot. He was one of my favorite players, and you grow up idolizing someone that is a hustler, a guy that gets hits. He's clutch. You always see him there in October, winning World Series, and when you see a guy like that, it's tough not to idolize him and like him.
Now, what will you remember him most for?
October, definitely. I was always watching. My dad was a big baseball guy, so baseball was always on, watching him, and just him being clutch and always being there in October.
Man, he's been an icon and a leader for the game of baseball. I know as a kid growing up in Virginia, playing shortstop and loving the game. Derek Jeter was one of the players that I watched, and for him to be voted in the All-Star game his last year, and everybody to see the captain one more time is going to be awesome.
Now, what are some of your most memorable moments of Derek Jeter?
Oh man, I mean, how many do you think he's put up? I mean, geez. I think I was it's hard to say now as a Brave, but I was a Yankee fan growing up, and to I think everybody's biggest memory is Derek Jeter making the play and against the Oakland A's. Those are the plays that as a shortstop you want to make that play for everybody to be like wow, and he fittingly enough the captain's the guy who made an amazing play like that, and it changed the face of a series, and really changed the face of the Yankees being able to win those games.
It's I can't say it's been as an opponent the most easiest thing to handle or the most pleasurable, but because he's a pretty good player and he's always help his team beat the team that I'm playing with, but I admire him nonetheless. He does everything right on and off the field. He's one of those figures in this game that he's going to be one of those guys that people look up to for generations. His contributions to the game, his contributions off the field have been outstanding. He's a role model for all of us, and he's certainly one of those guys that I look up to and that I look to just to see how he conducts himself and get advice from him every time I get a chance. I've got the chance to talk to him a couple times, and it's been great. He's very open with everybody, even since I was a rookie, very accepting of everybody. So he's one of those people that you can't really see anything that he does wrong, but you can't help it but to love a guy like that. So I know the game's going to miss him, and he has had a tremendous and wonderful career. He's won a lot of World Series for his team, and everything that he's done has been as a class act. So my hat's off to him for all the things that he's done.
Well, it hadn't been fun, I can tell you that. But I have a great Jeter story that I'd love to share. I made my first All-Star game in 2012, and I was sitting at a table with my family, and he made it a point to come over and congratulate me, and I felt like all the rumors and legends about how classy of a guy he was were kind of all came true in a moment. And I've been a Derek Jeter fan, of course, forever, and we're about the same age, but he's always a challenging at bat. He's got a great stroke, and has gotten countless hits to right center field, which is kind of guys that hit well off me do that because I'm a knuckleballer. But it's been fun to compete against such a classy guy.
And that being said, throwing a knuckleball, obviously he's got to remember you for a long, long time because those are very unique. So what's that like, kind of presenting a different challenge for a player like that?
Well, I'd like to think that I have somewhat of an advantage because he doesn't see him day in and day out. At least that's what I tell myself. But I would always go back and look at his at-bats against Tim Wakefield, and that would kind of give me an idea on what he may try to do against me. But the great thing about Derek and the great thing about a knuckleball is he knows what he's getting. I throw a knuckleball every pitch, and his swing rarely changes. It's that patented swing that shoots the ball to right center. So it's really a matter of who is able to execute on that given day, and that's always a fun competition.
And now, is there ever one specific pitch that sticks out in your mind most where you're kind of just like, yeah, I got him?
Well, there was a time I struck him out, which was a huge highlight for me at Citi Field in the Subway Series, and I think I ended up getting roughed up in the game, but he came up his first time, and I threw probably one of the best knuckleballs I've ever thrown in my life that, turned a whole circle or something, and he swung and missed and kind of looked back at the catcher like, how did that happen? And I've always taken a snapshot of that and tried to remember it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. My first big league at bat was a ground out to Jeter, so that was, I guess a bittersweet moment. It was, but he's he's a legend in baseball, I guess you can say.
Playing against Derek Jeter all these years, what was that like for you?
I mean, it was great. I mean, he's the face of baseball. When I was in high school, he was my favorite player. He's just a great guy, respected throughout the game, and a great player.
So you said he was your favorite baseball player. What was it about him that attracted him to you?
I think, at the time, they're winning all the World Series, and like I said, he's the face of baseball. He's just a guy, he's an easy guy to like.
And being in the AL East, you played him quite a amount of times. What's the one thing that separates him from all the other players?
His postseason experience, as clutch as he was, consistent. You name it, he's just a great player.
Out of all the battles that you guys had between the Orioles and the Yankees, what is the most memorable game or instance that involved Derek Jeter that comes to your head?
Man, I can't think of one. Homers that he hit against us, that signature play that he makes, the backhand, driving the ball to right field. There's just so many things that I can't think of one thing.
And how special is it for you to be able to be a part of this? Because like you said, he was your favorite player growing up, and now you're here during his final homestand at Yankee Stadium.
I'm sure it's going to be cool. This last off season, I had a bunch of people right when the schedule came out ask me for tickets for this game or for this series. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, it's going to be Jeter's last home game. So I've known about it for a while. And I'm sure it's going to be, great, and it's going to be fun to be here for.
Daniel, you grew up on the West Coast, but you obviously have seen Derek Jeter play baseball. What was that like, just growing up and seeing him play?
Oh, it's just, he's a legend. You grow up and it's, he's just, there's really no better word than legendary. And just, I'm watching him right now, just seeing him move. It's kind of crazy to see him in person. And, you grow up watching him on TV, just everything he does is something you remember, and you just, you love to see the game, the way he plays the game, and you learn from him.
2014, you make it to the big leagues. You're here at Yankee Stadium. This is your first time ever being at this park. Derek Jeter playing against him. Is this kind of even more so of a dream come true for you?
Oh, absolutely. Especially this being his last year, you get that chance to get out there and see him on the field and share the field with him. It's a pretty special, and it's obviously something I'll never forget.
Derek Jeter, what are your thoughts on him, what he's done for the game of baseball?
I can't think enough of Derek. He's meant so much to so many people. He's been a great role model. You never hear anything bad about him. It's always positive. I hadn't really got a good chance to talk to him. I do want to talk to him at some point before he leaves, but I can't stress enough and thank him enough for the model he's been to this game.
And are you excited for the last series up in Boston up against him?
Yes and no. Because it's going to be a big thing and good for him, and no, because he's leaving and everything. So.
Yeah, he's such a pro. I think that's the main thing, the one thing that stands out. You don't see him complaining, arguing. He goes about it, does the job. He's a smart hitter. Can't pitch him the same way. He's going to make adjustments. So that's all part of it, and that's why he's been doing what he's doing for so long.
Is there one at bat that sticks out most, or that you've in the time that you pitch against him?
Like I say, you can't do the same thing twice, because he's going to get you. I know, there's a few times where may have gotten an out the first and second at bat, and that third time he was ready for that, trying to get him early, and he caught me early. So, that's the way it goes.
Feel let's go to Sunshine, have the opportunity to the last year that Derek Jeter gonna play and see it again and give him Milwaukee. So we're gonna miss a guy like that.
Now, people speak very highly and well of you because of how much you hustle and how much heart you play with. What's that like, kind of having the same sort of praise as a player like Derek Jeter?
He been doing this Jeter for 20 years, and everybody loved him. He played the game the right way. We got a different style because he play hard, but I'm more like electric, and I come from the Latin country. Like, we play with passion. We showing like all the passion on the field. And some people think like just for show him up. It's not for show him up. It's the way like we play the game. It's the way like learn.
It was amazing. You know, you have so much respect for his class act, and just to compete against him, I'm grateful for.
Now you went home with a nice little souvenir.
Oh yeah, I got a signed ball. I always had to. I could have got a jersey, but baseball works fun.
Now, what was that like for you, kind of going up to another player and asking for his autograph, and that being Derek Jeter, legend?
You know what? You still don't want to bug, but you know what? I'm a fan. I grew up watching him play, and he showed me the right way to do it.
Did you throw it in a case just yet? Is it at home?
No, it's still in my locker. You know, maybe it's bringing some good luck, but
yeah, you could do a little superstitious thing. You're having a good year so far, so why not leave it there?
Right. Yeah, we're in first place. We're winning, so that's what he's about.
It was awesome. He's a great role model for all the younger guys coming up and even current players. He just goes about his business the right way and never has any excuses. And just a good guy and a great teammate.
Now, seeing him play, what do you try to apply to your game, or maybe something off the field that he himself does?
I think how he takes responsibility for things that might not even be his fault. You know, if the team doesn't do good and he's 3 for 4, he's like, I didn't play good enough, or I didn't do this or that for my team to get the win. I think, listening to those interviews, listening to how he handles himself, away from the field or in the clubhouse is what I wanted to take most from him. And it's just being a good teammate, being a good guy, and not making excuses for whatever happens.
It was a cool experience. I think I got him to sign a jersey for me, which I don't do for hardly ever. I don't like asking guys for autographs, but having a guy like that who plays the game the right way and that I watched growing up play, I think it's something that you got to take advantage of whenever he's around. But obviously, I played against him. He was a real nice guy. I haven't really played against him before, but it was a cool experience, and I wish him all the best in the future.
Was there anything different about him when he walked up to the plate compared to the other players in the league?
He
was just real friendly. He was like, hey man, he told me, he goes, hey, just take it easy on me today, will you? And I think that's funny when you can crack on yourself about that and be a humble guy. So he seems like he's pretty down to earth and pretty humble about things, which I admire. I think it's a tough thing to find nowadays.
You get to watch him. He's just, you think greatness, and just what he's brought to the game for so long is just one of those things where, as a kid, you never really thought that you would get this opportunity, and to be able to have the opportunity is awesome.
So is it a crazy feeling being here at Yankee Stadium playing against a guy like that?
Yeah, when I was growing up, I'm born on the East Coast, so the Yankees were always on TV, and of course you're gonna watch the game if you really enjoy baseball. And it's just being able to, like I said, watch him throughout the years and to be able to step out on the field with him today is definitely an honor.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. For almost 2 decades, he's been the face of Major League Baseball, and as a kid growing up, he's probably the guy that most people have looked up to, and just the way he goes about his business, the way he plays the game, he's been a role model for so many kids and players, and even guys that are still playing now. And he's just been a great example of how to play the game of baseball.
Now, for yourself, you're one of the younger players in the league, and you're in the National League. Do you ever wish that you had more of an opportunity to play against a guy like that?
Yeah, it's always fun to get to play against the best, whether it's a pitcher that you get to face or another opposing player. So unfortunately, he was injured last year when we played those guys, but it's part of it. You just try to go out there and play, and he's done a great thing, and you just watch TV and try to enjoy some of the other players.
And what are some of the stories that you have heard about him? Because obviously you haven't gotten a chance to play against him, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of good things, especially from teammates that have played with him.
Yeah, it's just crazy because you don't hear anything negative. There's all just positive stories, whether it's a young guy coming up and him kind of, taking him under his wing or just treating him like he's been there forever, maybe just so many different things. Obviously, you've seen the things he does on the field, some of the amazing plays, running into the stands or the clutch hits, and I think that's probably what he'll be remembered for most, at least in my eyes, winning the World Series. As a player, you want to be in that position if you got a chance to get the game-winning hit or make a game-saving play. That's what we're all, 5, 6, 7 years old in our backyard playing wiffle ball that we want to do, and he got to do that, and hopefully, we'll be lucky enough to do that one day.
Awesome.
#1 fan of him. I think he just played the game the right way. He respects the game, and plus he's an unbelievable player. I mean, he's fun to watch him play.
Now, being the catcher, have you had any conversations with him at the plate when you come up to bat, or?
Well, not really. Probably just, how you doing? Have a good game, and I might drop the, I'm a big fan of you. I love the way you play the game. I mean, I respect that, and he's a perfect example for us, for all the baseball players coming up, and even the guys that are in the big leagues for a few years. I think it's a perfect example for us to look at it and see the way he plays the game, because he just goes out there and play hard every day.
Now, even though you've only played him a limited amount of times, when he did come up to the plate and when you were catching, did he bring anything else that any other player did not bring in terms of maybe his persona, his swag, or kind of just the aura of Derek Jeter?
I think it's just his body language. It just shows respect. He's the guy that you look at it and you're really already intimidated by him just because his respect to the game. Same way with Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera, when he came up to pitch, I mean, people just look at it, know how nasty he was. It's just like how much I respect him because the way he respects the game. And you look at other guys and you see him, they're probably even nastier, and you say, you know what, I just want to go out there and hit a line drive off his head, things like that. Then when you see these guys, it's just like you're already intimidated, just the way they play the game and the way they did things right on the field.
Now, what do you think his lasting legacy on the game of baseball will be?
I don't know, man. It's just gonna be. Of course, it's gonna be different. Watch the Yankees play without Jeter. No, it's all right. But I mean, it's baseball, somebody else is gonna come up, and a few years later, it's not we're gonna forget about him because he's a legend. But the game is gonna continue.
Yeah, I think, you think of just what a class act he is, not only off the field, but, the way he carries himself on the field. I have a lot of respect for guys that play the game the right way, and when you think about guys like that, he's right at the top of the list for me. So, I'm glad I got to play against him a few times, not too much, but I'm glad I got to do it, and I pitched against him, and, looking forward to, his last year.
And what was your most memorable part about that experience of pitching to him when you did?
Well, I think, just playing the Yankees for the first time, obviously, us and them are probably the two most, storied franchises as far as history and things like that go. So, to get to play against them in LA and, have the hype and the hoopla that come with playing the Yankees is, it's pretty fun.
What do you think is going to be Derek Jeter's legacy that he's going to leave on the game of baseball?
Well, I just think everybody, whether you like him or not, just the respect you have to have for the way he played the game. I think that's, he's a winner. He won every part of his career. He's won a ton of World Series, and his postseason performance speaks for itself. So, when you think about a great player, a Hall of Fame player, you think about obviously his skill set, but more than anything, the wins and losses. And he won a lot, and that's ultimately that's what he's going to be remembered for.
I mean, he's a hero. I think the way he played the game and what he able to do on and off the field, I think everybody got to appreciate that. It was unbelievable. You always dream about it, and when that dream comes true, you just go, wow. It's really nice to meet you, and you try to explain everything what you did when you was down in Dominican. Watching him play, it's unbelievable. You get pump all over your body.
Now, what do you think will be his legacy on the game of baseball?
Oh, it's not gonna be unforgivable. I think everybody's gonna remember him, and I hope it's after he retired, he come back to the first, and we be able to see him again.
Will you miss playing against him?
Definitely. I think everybody want to play against them because you always learn something.
It's a special experience. I remember, I grew up as a kid watching him, and he's probably everybody's favorite player that's probably my age. So, it's just a special experience, and it's cool to see him, keep playing.
And what's the best part about actually being on the same field as him and playing against him?
I mean, I think, just the opportunity. It's the, biggest stage, biggest lights, and, you just like I said, you have a day like this and you have an opportunity to go play the Yankees. I mean, how much better can it get than that?
Now, being a pitcher, you obviously want to go up against a guy like that because of what he's done for the game, but also at the same time, he's got over 3,000 hits. So, I mean, this is kind of bittersweet feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's nobody said it was going to be easy. I mean, the guy's been doing it for so well for so long. So, he's still probably one of the toughest outs in the game. You can't really get inside him because he fights everything off to right field. So, I guess hopefully we'll just get lucky a couple times.
How would you define Derek Jeter and what he's done for the game of baseball?
The best. I mean, that's all you can really say is, class act all the way around, on and off the field. I mean, you can just tell by how he's accepted, everywhere in the league, not only here, but every other stadium he's gone to. It's been, the boos have kind of stopped this year because everybody realized it's his last time around.
And how special is it for you to be able to take part in his last week of his entire baseball career?
Yeah, it's awesome. Every time he comes to hit, the whole crowd stands. It's got to be pretty special for him also, going up there every time he comes up and, standing up every time he comes up to plate.
Yourself, Ryan, you're an infielder. Do you take anything from Derek Jeter's game and try to apply it to yours?
Just watch him. He's a pretty special player, had a special career, and just watch and just see how he handles his business.
The guys are pro in every aspect of the word. Not just on the field. Growing up and watching him play, I have a lot of respect for not just his ability to play this game for such a long time consistently, but just the way he plays the game, he goes about it. I don't really know baseball without Derek Jeter, so the fact that this is last year, I don't know. It's weird, man. I don't know what baseball is, without Jeter playing. So, but no, I have a lot of respect for the man and the man more than the baseball player, because it's not only just about what you do on the field, but his character and the stuff he does off the field. Not to take anything away from his abilities, but that outweighs everything.
Now, being able to watch him when you're younger, what did you take from watching all those games and seeing him play on a daily basis most?
Just a simple fact that he just plays the game the right way, plays hard, plays for his team, that's just the only way to play this game, 100% every time, and it's the team before yourself, and I think he encases all that so well, and he does it, very gracefully with ease.
But Derek Jeter, define him.
Yeah, we've been looking at the calendar all year to get to this series. We're glad some of the business is already taken care of, but what Derek means to the game and just everything that he's done over his course of his career has just been outstanding. To being a high school kid and dreaming of playing against him and having an opportunity the last couple of years to do it, but just what he's meant to the game of baseball around for 20 plus seasons is remarkable, and we're going to wish him well amongst his years.
What's the difference between him and all the other players that you faced?
Like you said, he's a stature in the box. You know exactly who he is. Every time you face him, like you said, this season alone, you felt like you're pitching against history. And so you kind of let him get his time. You give him a little more time. You really wanted to soak in the moment and really go compete, because you're competing with the best, and that's what he meant to this game so long.
It's known that when he gets to second base, he always says something to the shortstop or second baseman. Does he do anything with the pitchers?
He hasn't said anything to me. I had a pretty special moment the other day in Baltimore when we were playing. He was on deck, and I kind of just glanced over, and he kind of nodded his cap. And like I said, when you have moments like that, they really kind of soak into you, and something you'll never forget for years and years.
He was definitely one of my biggest idols. The number one reason is because he's biracial. I'm biracial, so it kind of gives. Whenever somebody's the same ethnicity as you or has some of the same ingredients as you, as far as your race goes, it's always nice. It gives you that hope, like, all right, Derek Jeter, we're the same as far as that goes, and he made it. He's successful. He stays out of trouble. He keeps his nose clean, and he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. What's stopping me from reaching my potential as well? So it's just nice to play on the same field as somebody that I always looked up to, and it's really I'm speechless when it comes to that, just because I have looked up to him for so long.
Justin, first off, Derek Jeter, got a chance to play against him quite a few times during your career. What was that experience like for you?
It's you see guys on TV and you always wonder what it's going to be like, to meet them, and when you're young you dream of playing in the big leagues. You never know you're actually going to make it or not. But be there and then to be standing on first, and like that's probably the best part of playing first base is getting to meet guys and getting to know guys. And he's one of those guys that. Obviously, he wants to win the game. That's the biggest thing you notice. But he's a nice guy. He's a guy that have a conversation with you, and it's just one of those guys that you'll tell your kids that you got to play against. And when he's in the Hall of Fame, I competed with that guy, I battled that guy, and that's pretty cool to know.
Now, from your time with the Twins, you guys had some really heated battles between the Twins and the Yankees, especially during playoff time. So, Derek Jeter as a competitor during those playoff games, what was that like? I mean, what did he bring out?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that is a leader, but also does all the little things, and I think that's what a leader is. Basically someone that's willing to sacrifice themselves for the best of the team. He'll hit behind a runner, move a guy over when you need to. Give himself up, and when you have your best players do that, you can't help but fall in line to everybody else. And obviously his will to win is great. You don't win multiple World Series without having a desire to be the best, and he'll obviously go down as one of the best of all time. And unfortunately, we didn't get the better of him in any of those playoff series that we had against him. But it's one of those things you always remember going to the playoffs. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but just to compete against a guy like that wants it so bad, it's fun to go up against that.
Cameron, so I haven't been in the league when you played against Derek Jeter. What was that like for you?
For me, it was pretty cool. I was called up at 20 years old, so I was really young, and it was at the old Yankee Stadium, so have an opportunity to play, at a place with so much history, for one, was great, and then having an opportunity to just take the same field, as Derek Jeter, looking back at it, was definitely something that I'll be able to tell my kids, and something that I can cherish for a long time, man. And I'll never forget, I got to second base, and he came up to me and congratulated me on my first hit and first bag, and I remember him saying to me, it's pretty cool, right? And I go, yeah, it is pretty cool. He goes, same game, just about 40,000 more people, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So that's something that I always tell people. I'll never forget him saying to me, just being a veteran already at that age, and still being so open to just embracing, another young player, man. It meant a lot, and I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Derek Jeter and the things that he's accomplished. But I think even more so as a human being, he really seems to be a great guy, ambassador of our game, and it's really been a privilege to be able to watch him play and also share the field with him.
Is there anything that you try to take away from his game, maybe on or off the field, personality-wise, that you've tried to apply to yourself?
If you watch him, he seems to be the ultimate professional. Never too up or too down. The guy makes a play, and he's always, seems to be in the same mode. He may get out, a big situation, and he's always in the same mode. I mean, he never seems to be shaken or bothered or flustered, and that's something I try to implement in my game now. And as I've got a little bit older, I think I'm doing a much better job of it. But just the way he carries himself as a professional is amazing.
Dalton, growing up in Canada, how much did you get a chance to watch Derek Jeter play?
As much as I could. They didn't really show too many Yankees games up in Toronto, but every time he came to play the Blue Jays, I always tried to go to the games. If I couldn't go to the games, I'd watch him on TV. And like a lot of guys, I felt like we all grew up watching him, and he's most guys' idols, and being here and able to play against him and talk to him for a second was really special to me.
So you get called up to the big leagues, you're here at Yankee Stadium, you get your first career Major League Baseball hit. What was that like?
I mean, it was surreal, I got the hit, and then, I've been waiting my whole life to, play in the big leagues, and then finally when I got that first hit out of the way, it was just like, a relief, and then when I got the second, Jeter congratulated me, which, was just the icing on the cake, and I couldn't have dreamt of it any better than that, so.
And after you got the hit, he grabbed the ball and threw it into the dugout, so he had to know. So what was that kind of like, just knowing that Derek Jeter knew that was your first career hit?
I mean, that's pretty cool, the fact that, he looked up and I guess he saw that, I only had like a couple at bats, and then he got my first hit and he knew right away. So it shows that he cares. He cares about people in the game, and he knows how important it is to a guy to get his first hit, and for him to know that and throw the ball in was, that's cool. That's cool in itself.
As a young kid growing up in Canada, did you ever picture your first hit being like it was here at Yankee Stadium?
No, for sure it wasn't. I thought I'd always get my first start in Toronto, but I got my first start here in New York. And growing up, I was always like a Blue Jays, Yankees fan because my dad was a big fan of the Yankees. So to have it here, playing for the Blue Jays, my hometown team at Yankee Stadium, I mean, it couldn't have got any better than that.
It's been awesome. He's just one of those guys that since that first time I got to second base, he's always made a point to come say hi, to talk to me, and he keeps things personable. And, we know all his stats, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's just as good of a guy. And that's all you care about when you're playing on the field. He treats everyone the same way.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's one of those, that's every little kid that they grew up playing shortstop, watching him play, and the captain of the Yankees. So it's one of those things that to be able to play against him and on the same field as him is going to be a great honor.
Now, being one of the younger players in the league, what are some of the stories that you have heard about Derek Jeter?
Oh, just how good of a guy he is. I mean, everyone says he goes about, his business the right way. How he treats people. Obviously, having Cano come over, he said that he's helped him tremendously. So it's one of those things where, obviously, a guy of that caliber willing to help a lot of people out just speaks a lot about him.
Absolutely. This being his last year, calling it out and stuff, saying that he's retiring after this year is something pretty special. Getting to face him. Hopefully, if I do. In his last season as a Yankee is pretty cool, and probably be one of my all-time remember one of those hitters to face. So it'd be pretty cool.
Now, is it kind of bittersweet because obviously you want to play with a guy like that since he's had such a great reputation, but also too, I'm sure you don't really want to face him too much since he's got over 3,000 hits.
Yeah, obviously he's an amazing hitter, amazing player, and you hear so many good things about him. And you don't want to run into too many guys like that who are set hitters, but it's the MLB, and there's great hitters all the way around. So, but obviously, he's one of the guys that's been in the game longer, and is very well established, and it should be cool to face a big name like that.
During the All-Star game, you got a chance to take a nice picture with Derek Jeter. How did you approach him, and was he pretty receptive? Because it looked like it.
Yeah, he's always up, and he's. I haven't seen him never say no. Anything you ask her, can you sign me a jersey? Oh, yes, whatever you need in baseball. So I went with that mind, I got my phone, so should I ask? And I went like, Jeter, can we take a selfie? She's like, oh yeah, let's go. So I take it, and it was one of the good ones, I think the fans like it, and especially Jeter,
So where's that picture now?
I have it in my phone, I have it in my Twitter account, it's everywhere.
He's always been an idol of mine. Mostly any baseball player is a real respectful guy. You never hear about his off the field stuff, and that's the thing I respect the most is he's played this game this long and been admired by that many people. To have that much respect for is pretty impressive and something to look up to.
Is there anything from his game, whether on or off the field, like you said, that you try to apply to yours?
No, just the way he plays every day. He plays hard every day, and the only thing he cares about is winning. And that's the thing about this game is to win, and I think that should be the main focus, and I think that's been his main focus ever since he's been with the Yankees.
Brad, you grew up in New Jersey. What was it like for you watching Derek Jeter play and now play against him?
Yeah, it's crazy. Growing up a Met fan, wasn't the biggest Jeter fan, but as I got older, I started to obviously respect what he has done for the game. And, coming here for these last few games, it's kind of hard to believe that I'll actually be here on the field against him for these final few games at Yankee Stadium.
Now, did you go to Yankee Stadium much when you were younger?
I went a couple times with my dad's work and a family friend. So I've been to the old one. My first time at the new one was earlier this year.
So for you, being a player and being able to be at Derek Jeter's final homestand, how awesome is that for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Ever since we heard in spring training, all the guys, relievers, were kind of like, I wonder who's gonna be the last one to face him. So it's been crazy, and I can't believe we're here now. So these last few months have been crazy thinking about. Now that's here, it's even better.
From the time that you were a kid to up until now, what's the one thing that you notice about Derek Jeter, whether it's been on or off the field, that he just always seems to do, whether it's hustle, something consistency-wise?
Yeah, it's he's always hustled. He always, when he's out there, he gives it 100% all the time. That's goes a long way. You can tell that it rubs off on all the players that he's been with over the years. And when I was younger, I didn't really recognize it, but obviously since I've been playing, you recognize it even more, and you realize the impact he has on everybody on the field.
What was it like for you watching Derek Jeter as a young kid, and then obviously playing with him and against him at the All-Star game?
Honestly, I grew up in Atlanta, a Braves fan, and I wasn't a huge Derek Jeter fan. The Yankees kind of seemed to get the best of my Braves growing up, and he was kind of the face of the Yankees. So I respected Derek Jeter, we still do, and his ability and the career he's had. But I hate to say, well, I don't even hate to say it really. I mean, I wasn't a huge Jeter fan. I just appreciated his game.
Did you let him know that you were a big Braves fan when you got a chance to meet him?
I actually didn't get to meet him. It was weird. They kind of kept the American League and the National League. They kind of separated us off, and I didn't really run into him at the hotel. And I would have liked to introduce myself, but I didn't really, cross enemy lines, go over in their dugout or anything like that. So I never did meet him.
What do you think you'd say to him if you did?
I'd say, hey man, nice job. Nice to meet you. I wouldn't have anything to say. I would just commend him on doing it right and keeping it classy. Really, it's nice to see him have such a good career and do a good job of having that kind of squeaky clean resume. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid growing up, you always watched Derek Jeter. You knew exactly who he was, and I'm pretty sure every kid who dreamed of playing baseball, emulated him somehow.
Mm-hmm. Now, is he one of your favorite players growing up?
Absolutely. He's the guy who definitely got me into baseball, and seeing that guy play, you wanted to be exactly like him.
Now, for yourself, being in the big leagues, how awesome is it to actually be able to be at the same level as him now?
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute honor to be at this level, and for me, it's special because this is his last season, and to have a chance to play against him in his last season, it's definitely something to keep with me for the rest of my life.
How would you describe him?
Class act guy. He knows how to play the game. And he plays it the right way. I've caught a lot of balls out in right field from him, and one always sticks out in mind. When we were playing him, and I think Tillman was on the mound when he became the all-time Yankees hit leader. I was fortunate enough to come to me. I thought about picking it up and putting it in my pocket, but it well deserved. And he's a great player. He does unbelievable things on the field, and he's one of a kind.
Now you mentioned.
Since I was like 12, I remember I was 12 years old. I went to Little League World Series, and he was my favorite baseball player. The way he worked, the way he handled his business, serious about it, and play hard, every time. No matter what, if he 0 for 4, 5 for 5, he's the same guy, same. You go out there and play hard,
Now you mentioned when you were 12 years old in the Little League World Series, you saw him play. Being from the Netherlands, how much of a presence did he have growing up? Did you know much about him?
I don't know much about him personally, but I know because I watch his game, like when he make the play, like from the catcher, from the outfield and throw to the catcher, it was amazing. And the play he make in the hole and jump and throw, everybody in Curaçao was practice that, And now, but personally, I don't know much about it, but in the game, I know everything about him,
Yeah, you grew up in California. You were a huge Albert Pujols fan, a Derek Jeter fan. What was it about Derek Jeter that really attracted you to him?
I think the way he carries himself. My dad was always, whenever games were on ESPN, the Yankees are always on TV, So whenever they're on ESPN, my dad was always, watch Derek Jeter, watch the way he plays the game, watch how he leads, And whenever, my dad talks about leading, it always goes back to Derek Jeter. Or whenever someone talks about being a leader, it always goes back to thinking about Derek Jeter and how he leads.
And now, even though you're playing third base, you came up as a shortstop, and obviously that's the position that Jeter's played the last 20 years. So what was that like, kind of trying to maybe emulate your game after his?
A little bit. I mean, obviously he had his own style. I mean, I think everyone wanted to do the jump throw he did, in the hole. I think that's something that everyone tried to do. I think I still try to do it. Obviously my style is different than his, but that's the play that everyone tried to do.
And have you gotten a chance to meet him just yet?
I have never gotten to meet Derek Jeter. I just got to watch him play. We played the Yankees last year, but I think he was on the DL at the time, so I didn't get a chance to.
So if you did have a chance to talk to him, what do you think you'd talk about?
I don't know. Obviously, I'd probably just see how he's doing. But obviously, if I was on base real fast and I wasn't able to see him again, I'd just tell him, hey man, you're a great role model for all of us. I really appreciate what you've done for the game.
Oh, it's awesome. Jeter, and he's with Jordan, so Jordan's my other guy. Like I love Jordan's stuff, and for him to be part of that, it's definitely high up there on my list.
Will you miss watching him play?
Yeah, definitely, and to get the chance to play against him is awesome as well.
Tom, you're born and raised in New Jersey. What was it like watching Derek Jeter play all those years?
It was awesome. Like you said, I grew up close to the ballpark, and me and my brother grew up, and we were huge Derek Jeter fans, and he was pretty much, honestly, my favorite player growing up.
Now, what was it about him that made him your favorite player?
I just like the way he carried himself. I mean, he's the ultimate professional. I mean, you watch him on the field, and not only, what he's able to accomplish on the field, but, the way he handles himself off the field. I mean, he's a great role model for kids.
Now that you're up here at the big league level, do you wish that there's more of an opportunity to play against him? Because obviously the Braves and the Yankees don't play each other during 2014, but...
Yeah, actually I had kind of the way it worked out the spring training was we went down to Tampa to play them, and he was over in Panama playing in that game against, I think it was the Marlins, so I didn't get to play against him, and then they came to our place and he was in the lineup, but I wasn't in the lineup that day, so that's kind of how it worked out, unfortunately. But it's cool to at least be up for his last season, even if I don't get to play against him. It's cool to be here for it.
So even though you guys missed each other a couple times during those spring training games, have you gotten a chance to meet him at all?
No, I haven't. I mean, obviously that's on my bucket list, so to speak, but hopefully one day.
So Jersey boy in the majors, growing up watching the Yankees, favorite player Derek Jeter. It's got to happen at some point.
You would hope, but obviously, I'm assuming ball's kind of in his court. I don't really have too much pull around here yet. So
Lorenzo, being here at Yankee Stadium for Derek Jeter Day, how awesome is it to be able to take part in it?
Oh man, it's an amazing feeling. Like I say, never thought I would be here in Yankee Stadium, but I'm here, and to live this and experience this Jeter Day, one of the best players in the game is definitely an exciting feeling. So I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Did you ever imagine that you would be here for something like this, something so historical?
Yeah, I mean, you never think it would happen, but for it to actually happen, man, so it's definitely a wow factor. So like I said, I'm definitely excited for this day to get started, and just watch this game, and hopefully he can just go out with a bang.
What are your thoughts on Derek Jeter and what he's done for the game of baseball?
Yeah, he's been a tremendous fit for the game. He's done a lot of special things, on and off the field. So like I say, experience this day with him and enjoy this day with him. Like I say, I'm just excited to watch all the fans, cheer him on and give him farewell. So like I say, it's going to be a great day.
Is there anything from his game that you try to take to pot to yours?
He has that opposite field approach. He hit a lot of line drives to the right side, and like I say, I try to do that as well. And try to add it to my game. So like I say, just watching him swing the bat, watching him the way he hustles and play defense. He's been solid throughout his career. It's definitely been a pleasure.
I mean, he's one of the great ambassadors of this game. I know. Watching him as I grew up, not only as a kid, but coming through the system and being a baseball player, just he's a guy that you always look to I guess even though he was on the other side or on TV, just kind of a guy you look to do the right things, and he's always done that. He's always been a good leader, always done everything the right way, and I think I respect that more than the numbers and everything he puts up on the field. Just the way he carries himself, the way he goes about being a player here in New York. I mean, we all know how difficult that can be, and he's always handled it with grace. And like I said, he's one of those guys that growing up you look to be like, and it'll be sad that he'll no longer be playing, but at the same time, I'm sure he has some other things that he wants to do with his life.
It's scary to think that he's retiring. Personally, I've watched him since I was a child, always wanted to be like him. And now that I am a professional baseball player, it's, he's set the bar so high as far as being a pro on and off the field. It's, it's something that we all strive to be. And it's almost an impossible bar to reach because he's done so well, on the field, obviously, but off the field, he's been such a role model, always sets the right example. And, other than him coming to Trenton and rehabbing there and, knowing my name and putting my arm around me, I don't know him that well. But, I've never heard anyone say one bad word about Derek Jeter, and that's the legacy that he leaves behind, and that's what every baseball player wants to leave behind when they're done.
You mentioned playing against him when he was rehabbing at AA. Now what's it like taking the field with him here in the big leagues?
I have no idea what it's going to be like. In Trenton he comes and he's rehabbing, and Trenton is packed, and he puts his arm around me, and I steal a couple seconds in his HBO documentary, and I've got a big cheese and smile on my face. And then you play against him in spring training, and those games don't mean anything. So he's still messing around with me. What's up, Tone? And I'm like, dude, you know my name still? So I don't. These are the games that matter. I don't expect him to come up to the plate and joke around with me, but I'll give him the respectful hello, and I won't talk to him because I don't know how locked in he gets at the plate.
Now, being one of the younger guys in the league, what are you trying to do take away, like from his game, for instance, that you can apply to yours to make sure that you kind of take that baton and continue the professionalism that he does show on and off the field?
It's funny you say that because in a way I'm kind of doing the same with Russell Martin. I'm trying to make the transition from Russell to me while Russell's on the DL as smooth and seamless as possible. And Derek Jeter, his career's coming to an end, and the next Yankee shortstop is going to have humongous shoes to fill. And I can't imagine the transition from Derek Jeter to someone else, but it's kind of similar in what that next shortstop's going through and what I'm going through. It's transitioning my pitching staff to a new guy who they don't have as much experience with. But I like to think I'm doing as good as a job as I can.
What's it like playing Derek Jeter, and what are some of your favorite Derek Jeter moments?
Oh man, playing with Derek Jeter, playing against him is definitely going to be one of my top moments. Because for a long time, I've watched him play, so many memories of him, playing for the Yankees and doing and winning all those World Series. And not only that, just how great of a guy he is. It's around the league, everybody knows he's a great guy.
Well, as far as a consummate professional, I don't think there's anybody greater than Derek Jeter. So anytime you get to take the field with somebody that's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and has as much class as Derek Jeter, it's a pretty big honor.
Now, you guys are in the National League, so you don't really get too much of an opportunity to play somebody like that. So when you did recently, how grateful are you for that opportunity?
Yeah, very grateful. We get to play him a lot in spring training. So obviously the last several years, I've been in this organization for 10 years, so I get to see him more in spring training than we do during the season. But it's always fun because he was a guy that I grew up watching and wanted to be like when I was a kid, and to take the field with him is really an honor.
Yeah, Derek's been about as great an ambassador for our game that you could ever be. Just a tremendous class act, a guy that's done just about everything right almost. I know that that's hard to say, and Derek would probably say no. But being the humble guy he is, Derek has done it about as good as anybody could ever do it. The class, the respect that he's played the game with, the respect that he's shown the opposition, his own teammates, his organization. Just been a class act, been a good friend to me throughout the years, and getting a chance to play with him on a couple of World Baseball Classic teams, meant the world to me, and us staying in touch, the little that we do. Derek's a good friend, a good guy.
Will he miss pitching to him?
No. Any man that has 3,300 and something odd hits, you don't miss pitching to him. We're saying something last night about a pitch that he got inside of and got a base hit up the middle off Buchholz, and somebody goes, "Man, I can't believe he got to that ball right there." I go, "Man's got 3,300 something hits. He's pretty good, He's going to get some hits on some balls that we don't think he should at times." So, no, not going to miss playing against him, but certainly going to miss his presence being around the game.